My very basic understanding is sexual orientation is who you love. It is who you want to be with, either romantically or platonically if you're asexual. Gender identity is who you are on the inside. It is your true self, if you will. Gender identity is a very hard thing to figure out for a lot of people because it's not so straightforward. It's not just man or woman. Gender is a spectrum on which each of us lie in a very different place, so find comfort in wherever you fall there. If you're cis, good for you. If you're non-binary, good for you. If you're unlabeled, that's okay. Take your time, you don't owe anyone anything. And gender expression is how you present yourself to the world. It's how you show people who you are.
Sexual orientation is how you are attracted, so romantically, physically, to a gender. They can be broken down into categories like homosexuality, so it's when you're attracted to the same gender. You have heterosexuality, which you're attracted to a different gender. Then you have bisexuality, you're attracted to both genders. You have pansexuality, where you're attracted to all genders. And then you also have asexuality, where you're attracted to neither genders. Whereas with gender identity, it's who you see yourself as. So in regards to woman or man, if you see yourself as both, if you see yourself as in between, or if you see yourself as neither. And then your gender expression would be how you choose to show yourself basically to the outside world. So whether it be your behavior, your dress sense, or just how you are as a person, so your expressions as a person.
Sexual orientation is like, I suppose, what you're attracted to. So like whether you're straight, gay, lesbian, bi, I suppose it refers to who you're attracted to, and I suppose it kind of puts you in that whichever category then, I'm guessing. Gender identity, it's what you identify as. So like what gender you identify as, so whether you're male, female, trans, non-binary, bi-gender and gender fluid, and etc, etc. And then finally gender expression. I honestly have no idea what that means.
In regards to LGBTQ terminology, you may be confused or even afraid or worried. One golden rule is to just not be afraid to ask anything. If you find a comfortable LGBTQ person and if you ask them a question, they'll probably be more than happy to tell you everything they know. What's helpful about the term LGBTQ is that each of the letters obviously stands for an identity. L for lesbian, G for gay, B for bisexual, and T for transgender. This is really helpful.
What are the right terms? I'm going to be honest with you, this isn't a straightforward question, because it's not the same for every person. If you're wondering how someone wants to be referred to, ask them their pronouns, ask them their preferred name, and then respect that. Keep that going. They'll appreciate you for it. I promise you, it's not as hard as it sounds to remember to use they, them pronouns for someone who prefers them. It really helps. It goes a long way.
I suppose what this means, what it's asking is like, if you're gay, what terms would you like to be used? If you just like to be called, if you were gay, or if you're lesbian, bi, straight, or what probably means if you're trans, what terms would you want to use? Would you want to be referred as trans, or would you want to be referred to as your chosen gender? So I'm guessing that's what the question's asking. But again, so if you are trans, it really depends on the person then if they want to be referred to as trans or their chosen gender. Or no gender at all, really.
I know since there's so many terms out there, it's hard to realize what to use. But honestly, my best advice is to just ask the person what they want to be called.
Some of the terms that you can use, it would be gay, lesbian, queer, straight, fluid, and transsexual.
If you're talking about terms for people's identity, that's where things get a little bit more complicated. Some LGBTQ people identify as queer and others don't like to use the word at all. So it is in your best interest, if you don't want to offend anyone, ask them. The people who are still asking this, I am concerned for you.
Even if you don't mean anything by it, it's deemed offensive through possibly someone's tone of voice or the way they physically approach a situation. And also, most of the time, they relate it with a negative comment to make someone feel less than what they actually are.
Okay, I have a lot of friends in the LGBTQ community, and they use like "that's so gay" like nearly all the time, and they don't really find that offensive. I guess in the right context it's okay. If it's like used just as a slang word, as a slang term for like every day, so it's fine, I guess. Unless it's used in an offensive way, then it's out of the question. I suppose it's kind of like using normal curse words in every day. If people don't take offense to it, unless you use it to like offend someone, then it's probably seen as offensive. And again, it kind of depends on really who you're talking to. It depends on the person.
When you say something like, "Oh, that's so gay," you're meaning it in a derogatory term to show that being gay is bad. And even though you don't mean anything by it, what you said is still hurtful.
There is a simple answer to this. Someone saying, "that's so gay," when what they really mean to say is, "that's so bad, that's so awful, that's terrible, that's stupid, that's dumb, that's weird, that's gross." It synonymizes gay with all of those words, which it doesn't. People continuing to use this phrase, even if they do mean no harm, after we've told them that it's not good, it's harmful to all of us, it's sad. Why are you doing it? Punch them.
For me, I'd respond by highlighting the fact that when sexual orientation is actually taken out of the equation, that we're all the same, and making them aware that it can actually hurt someone's feelings through what they're doing, and also letting them know that it's a reflection of themselves and it's not actually a reflection of the person that they're judging.
I would honestly tell them to cop the fuck on. And if they didn't, then they're not friends that you should be having. Now, when it comes to family, I know it can be much harder, since you can change your friends, but you can't change your family. I would show how much it bothers you, and eventually they will change their behaviour.
Well, okay, me personally, I'd probably try to explain calmly and explain why they're wrong. And if that doesn't work, I guess you keep trying. And if it doesn't, just drop them. I mean, you could lash out as well, but that probably won't do anything or help the situation at all. So again, either try and help them understand, or just, again, drop them.
You can't fight every ignorant person that you come across. Believe me, I've tried. It gets emotionally draining, and it's so important for you to stay safe and protected, especially if you're in a situation where speaking out about these things could put you in danger. But if you are in the position to do so, please hold your friends and family accountable. Ignorance is a cycle. It gets shared and passed down from generation to generation, and that's only going to stop if we try break it. If we try to talk to these people, try have discussions with these people. Instead of blowing up and getting angry at them, try rationally talk to them. Try help them see why what they're saying is harmful, offensive, or just mean. It can be so tiring getting angry all the time at these people. And unfortunately, there are some people that you cannot talk to. There are some people who are so set in their ways that they will just never see that we are just like them. Don't waste your breath on them. You are giving them what they want. Sometimes the best thing you can do to fight back is exist and be happy as yourself. And maybe punch them in the face every once in a while as well.
I've had so many friends come out to me, and my best advice is just be happy for them and support them. But don't make such a big show about it, because it's still sexual orientation, something that everybody else has.
Okay, going off of past experiences, just be supportive, really. I mean, your friend, whoever they are, they're finally being true to themselves, and they could be scared or paranoid about what other people will think, so you should help them go through this. Like, I mean, just be supportive. Essentially, just be a nice person about it. Be at least halfway decent. Support their choices. I mean, they're finally opening up and being who they want to be. That's pretty amazing. Like,
Do not tell people. Do not tell them. Do not tell anyone unless they give you explicit permission that you can. If you out someone, you could be possibly putting them in danger. From their family, from financial security, from anything. Please, don't tell anyone.
I'd be thankful that they felt comfortable enough to approach me, because I know how hard it can be. And I'd highlight the fact that even though there is a stigmatism at times, it feels that it isn't as big as they're possibly building it up to be inside, and also reassure them that it doesn't negatively change my views towards them or who they are, and just thankful that they found that I was trustful enough to come to and talk to about the situation and how they feel.
What to do if someone comes out to you? Well, first I'm going to go over what not to do. Don't say I saw this coming or I already knew. And don't disregard it or ignore it or treat it like a phase. Both of these reasons is because it probably took a lot out of them to tell you this. This is a big part of them and their identity, and they've been figuring it out for a while, and they might even have been agonizing about how to tell you. Now, it's actually okay to feel a little bit odd about it. Let me explain. If it's a family member or even a friend, you've probably envisioned a certain future for them, who they're walking down the aisle with, maybe if they'll have children or what they're going to look like. This is their choice, and if you have complicated feelings about it, you must work through that on your own. If somebody tells you that they are queer in any way, then the first thing to do is accept them and support them and thank them for telling you.
If someone does come out to you, don't make a big deal out of it. Make them feel comfortable. Facilitate any changes that they may want you to. Could be something as simple as just a show of support. Just be kind.
There are 2 other things you must not do. Don't assume that they are in love with you and that this is their way of telling you. This is not really anyone's love confession, and it's really harmful and annoying to those people if all they hear when they tell someone that they're gay is, "Oh, you're in love with me" or something. Just don't do it. Another thing is, and on quite a serious note, this world is quite unsafe, unfortunately, for LGBTQ people, and especially LGBTQ youth. As sad as it is, violence rate amongst people who are transgender and people who are gay are much higher than the average person. So this is not a fun piece of gossip to spread around. Not even to people who you believe they may be close with, and especially not their family. They may face homelessness, violence, or bullying because of this. So just keep it to yourself.
If they have come out to you in confidence, as in me, you are the only person who knows. Do not fucking tell anyone!
We should support lesbian, gay, bisexual, pansexual and transgender equality, because we've been supporting heterosexuality for years. And what's the difference between supporting other sexualities? What we should not support is exclusion. What we should support is inclusion.
Because being different in this society can be really difficult. And even though we are all human, we're treated differently because of our sexual preferences. So my best advice is just to support them, because they're still human beings, just like you and me.
I mean, why shouldn't we support them? Why shouldn't we support anyone? I mean, like, why should we support anyone, really? If, like, I don't know, if we fall on the ground, we scrape our knee, don't we all bleed red blood? If we go to the doctor for surgery and they cut us open, don't we look the same? I mean, it's kind of bizarre to me, really. Why would we treat anyone any differently just because of skin color or how they identify or what they're attracted to? It's kind of obvious. We're all people. Shouldn't we treat each other? Essentially, I guess, shouldn't we just all be nice to each other and just not be dicks?
Even if you don't see us as such, we're human. We are people. It is just a part of us. Because love is love, and gender isn't just man and woman. And all we want to do is live and be happy. So let us be happy.